So today is the final day of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, my friends, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel, where it is time to wrap up things. Today I'm going to do something what I did last year as well. Episode uploaded on the 31st of December 2019 was me talking about the Overpowered of the year, the most overpowered tank in 2020. This time I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to do top 3 most overpowered tanks in 2020 according to the community's feedback, according to some results, according to, you know, what is happening in this game right now. Anyway, let's get going. In this video I'm going to focus on top 3 tanks voted by the community, which are the most overpowered tanks. I'm not going to line them up like this is top 3, this is top 2, top 1. Let me know in the comment section down below, please. What do you think? How would you line them up yourself? Which is the most, which is second place, the third place, and at the end of the episode I actually have some honorable mentions as well from other tiers. Anyway, let's get going. First tank you are already watching on the background, the infamous Object 279 early. This is a tank which every single one of us is actually able to get their hands on for free as well, because you know, unlocking this reward vehicle doesn't cost you any money, but you just have to play good, super good, and you have to play a lot many times. On like some missions are completely RNG based, but you know, the better you are in this game, the faster you are able to unlock this vehicle. Anyway, this is the reward vehicle from the personal campaign 2.0. The first one introduced us to Object 260, this one Object 279 early. It is a reward vehicle, and second year in a row it makes it to my video. Last year the video was all about this tank because it was a lot newer in this game, but this time it is definitely in the top 3. What makes it so good? Well, the armor layout, not having to lower plate, you know. When fighting versus this tank you cannot use your good old tricks. Let's just hit the lower plate and let's penetrate every single shot. If the player knows what he's doing in 279 early, the only way how to get through this tank easily, not easily, to get this tank through at all is premium rounds, because yes, you have commander hatches what you're able to penetrate, the tiny commander hatches, yes, you have some weak spots here and there, but in a nutshell, if you do not use premium rounds, this is going to happen what you see on the background. 277 bouncing shot after shot, mouse bouncing, T57 bouncing, all the standard rounds. Those guys are just not able to penetrate 279 early with standard rounds under angle like this. You don't have lower plate to worry about, and at the same time 279E can easily dish out damage shot after shot after shot, especially with this type of ammunition loadout, which is, I would say, on 80% of 279E's what you face on the battlefield. Quite a standard ammunition loadout. Ladies and gentlemen, many players who are playing with it, they go full ham, they maximize their damage output, they maximize everything, they have all the premium things on this vehicle, they have heat fully loaded in. I was just checking, I was curiously just checking what replays.ru, what replays.com, and basically the first 30 battles uploaded, like damage done battles, like first 30 good battles, every single battle was exclusively with premium rounds. This is what you can expect when facing 279E. Now, talking about statistics, how it is performing on various servers. And let's start with the biggest one, let's start with the Russian server. According to What Life, 35,700 players are owning 279. With a win ratio, average win ratio among all those players, 60.39%. So win ratio already shows that something crazy is going on over here. This vehicle has to be performing very, very good. Yes, over 60% win ratio is absolutely amazing, but we have to keep in mind that this vehicle is owned by very good players, plus not too many players have it unlocked, because the more same vehicles are rolling around on the battlefield, you know, if in every single battle you have one 279E 279E on one side and 1 on the other side. One side wins, other side loses. Average win ratio drops down to 50% because, you know, 1 won, 1 lost. But over here, not too many 279Es are facing each other too many times, and this is the result as well. But of course, 60+% win ratio shows that this vehicle is good. With average damage on all those players, close to 3,000, 2,943 average damage for all those players. So this was the Russian server, but what about EU and NA, where a lot less players are owning this vehicle, and not a surprise, it is performing even better because, you know, not too many players are owning it, for the same reasons I just mentioned. Not too many 279Es are facing each other, which is actually going to drop down the win ratio for the reasons I mentioned before. So on EU server, 61.26% is the average win ratio of the players who own this vehicle, and close to 12,000 players are owning tier 279Es on EU account. Average damage slightly higher as well, 2,981 average damage. On NA, even higher win ratio, 61.73% win ratio, even higher damage, over 3,000 average damage, 3,034, but only 1,600 players are owning it, so it is extremely rare to see two 279Es facing each other, which may result in the higher win ratio as well, but very, very high average damage. So this is Object 279E, one of the most overpowered tanks in this game right now as well, currently as well in 2020. Reward vehicle, you're able to get it for free if you play this game a lot and if you play this game very, very good. If the player knows how to play 279E to the max, it is one of the most unstoppable tanks in this game. You can wiggle yourself out from even versus some heat rounds, APCR rounds, you know, premium rounds trying to penetrate you. But even if you don't know this tank, if you don't know how to play with heavy tanks in the best way, this tank is just going to forgive you so many mistakes. And not having a lower plate, you do not need to worry about getting hulled down into every single situation. You do not need to be hulled down in every single situation. And this is what we cannot say our next tank in today's video, the infamous T95 FE4201 Chieftain, our very own Chieftain in World of Tanks. Tier 10 Bridges heavy tank, yet another heavy tank in this list, but this tank is more like a heavy tank, a medium tank, a light tank, tank destroyer, and even artillery. Why the hell not? Yeah, let's even call it artillery as well because of the HE shells, right, or HESH rounds. Anyway, Chieftain is in today's video in this list for a bit different reasons compared to the 279E. It doesn't have the extremely forgiving armoring, what 279E does. It actually has a lower plate, what 279E doesn't have. It has 2 tracks instead of 4, right? But it is over here because of its gun, because of its firepower, because of its mobility, because of its full vehicle pack. Now, yes, it is very hard vehicle to penetrate when it is completely hull down, and or in these situations, or in this situation where player knows how to play with this tank exactly. And yet another thing what makes this tank so brokenly overpowered is the player base who is playing with it. It is a clan wars reward vehicle, so this tank is getting played by only the best players. For example, the E5, who the player just shot at, has a bit better DPM in this game now after they buffed E5's DPM, but E5 still doesn't have so many other things to offer what Chieftain has. Plus, Chieftain doesn't have secondary turret on the top of the turret as a weak spot. Or Super Conk, or this is actually tier 9 Conk, Conqueror over here. Super Conk is kind of classified as a poor man's Chieftain. Yes, it has roughly the same gun, it has the same gun handling and all those things, but still, it is, you know, it is not a Chieftain. Still, it is not a Chieftain. But as I said before, one of the reasons why it is in today's list, voted the most, one of the most overpowered tanks in this game by the community, is the player base who is playing with this. It is getting played by the top players in this game. Not only, of course, there are some average players as well. Not every single player is the top player. It shouldn't be owned by only the top players, but still, usually you see very, very good players playing with it, with full premium round loadout as well, and they're just dishing out damage after damage. They know how to use their tank, they know how to use very, very good positions, and this is what showcases this vehicle a lot better as well, on the top of everything it has to offer already. Now, talking about statistics, once again, let's go to the Russian server first. Win ratio 57.55%. A bit lower than on 279E, but more players own it actually. Close to 60,000 players own it. 59,187 players own their Chieftain. 2,768 average damage among all those players. Not bad, very, very good. EU, slightly higher win ratio, 58.38% win ratio with 2,880 damage. This is, by the way, the highest damage on Chieftain on EU server. And it is owned by 21,000 players. So, very, very impressive results actually. On NA, slightly lower results, win ratio 57.33%, average damage 2,685, and it is owned by 6,400 players, but still extremely impressive. Over 57% win ratio in public battles with 2,700 average damage. Oof. This is, ladies and gentlemen, T95 FE4201 Chieftain Clan Wars reward vehicle, which is also one of the strongest, one of the most overpowered tanks in this game in 2020. Moving on to our third vehicle in the top 3 list, in today's top 3 list, and it is, drum rolls, I believe you were expecting this vehicle, of course, EBR 105, tier 10 light tank, French light tank, or wheeled vehicle, or turbo cart, or wheelie, call it how you want. It has many different names. One is nastier than the other, but hey, this is hopefully a family friendly channel. Okay, EBR 105. This vehicle, we can say single-handedly, like this tier 10 wheeled vehicle, single-handedly changed the high tier meta, matchmaking, battle speed, how the battles are going in the first place. By the way, the battle you're watching on the background I chose for a very specific reason, for the reason what you witness right over here. Okay? Did you see that? EBR 105 in less than 1 minute in the battle was put down to 39 hit points. But what his wheeled vehicle is able to do in this game is still mind-blowing, and this is why I decided to choose this replay for the background battle. But going back to the EBR and why it is in today's video, why it is classified as the top 3 most overpowered tank in this game. If you are a new player and simply look at the statistics, you would say, what? Really? This vehicle? No, come on, stop it, Des, stop it. This tank? No, no way. Because let's actually look at the statistics, ladies and gentlemen. On the Russian server, it is owned by a whopping 270,000 players. 270,000 players own EBR. Win ratio 50.67, well, because many players own EBR, and EBR basically is in every single battle. If one team has EBR, the other team has EBR, one EBR loses, other wins, 50% win rate. Right, okay, I explained that. Average damage 1066, extremely low once again, but it is a light tank. On EU server, win ratio 50.52%, which is, by the way, the best win ratio compared to any other tier 10 light tank on EU server. Average damage almost identical to the Russian one, 1064, and 110,000 players are owning it. On NA, win ratio 50.87, which is the best, once again, compared to the light tanks, tier 10 light tanks. Win ratio, damage 1069, beautiful. And 17,252 players own it. So looking at those statistics over here, I would say like new players, if you haven't played the high tier battles, they would say, what the hell is, like, this is the worst tank I have seen. Such a low win ratio and so on, but as I said, win ratio is determined by many things. Damage is very low, but what it doesn't show is the most important statistics, of course, assistance. This tank is just so crazy doing active scouting, doing spotting, assisting, tracking, because it has crazy good AG, and many times players are using AG over APCR or heat rounds, and you get more tracking. Then the mobility, the maneuverability, like mobility and maneuverability together with this AG, which has 105 millimeters of penetration, just make this tank so annoying. The most annoying, the most overpowered light tank in this game, easily. It single-handedly changed the tier 10 gameplay a lot, because as you saw from the start of this replay as well, at the start of this battle as well, most, if not all, of the camping tank destroyers were spotted just like that. Quick shot into FE-4005, which by the way did set that FE-4005 on fire in less than like 20 or 25 seconds in the game. It is a vehicle, it is a tank which can go to the enemy base in the first 30 seconds after the game started, and you are like theoretically able to spot every single tank from the enemy team in 30 seconds, in 30 to 40 seconds. How crazy is that? And this is why games are a lot faster, because EBRs can keep stuff spotted basically all the time. Good EBR players are just able to dominate every single battle, and the win ratio is actually, like, you know, because so many players own it, every single time it is EBR versus EBR, almost every single time. Not in this case, by the way. In this battle, EBR was able to play alone, but in 1 versus 1 or in EBR versus EBR situation, of course, win ratio is getting closer to 50%. And of course, what also drops the win ratio are suicide EBR players, suicide scouts. This is how we call them, right? When some players see EBRs are dominating the battlefield, they want to do the same, but they are just not able to control the vehicle that good, or they are just going in trying to spot everything at the start and dying in the first 30 seconds. So you really hate when you see this type of scouting, right? But it happens quite often, actually. I would say in the every third battle, I would say so, you see one EBR going down in the first 30 seconds. So yeah, that guy clearly was overdoing it. But when the player knows how to use the bushes, how to use positions, how to stay alive, because I would say there is nothing scarier in World of Tanks than late game full HP light tank, late game full HP EBR. Sometimes you do not even need hit points, because just let's roll back, you know, a couple minutes, when the player was put down to 39 hit points, with like how much damage, 1k damage, something like that, and a little tiny dash of assistance as well, and we are already up to 8,300 combined, 5,000 damage, with a vehicle that is not supposed to be a damage dealer, ladies and gentlemen, in a tier 10 battle as well. But hey, this tank is able to do that, and of course it is able to tank shots. Thank you, Panzerkampfwagen 7, for introducing me into the next topic, why this vehicle is so broken, why this tank is in today's list. The ability to absorb shots, the ability to tank massive shells, Jagdpanzer E100 shells catched by the wheels, 183mm HE rounds catched by the wheels, or in this case Panzerkampfwagen 7 shot catched by the wheels. Not a single bit of damage received, just damaged wheels, but because you are playing with a wheeled vehicle that has no tracks, guess what? You did not get tracked either, because you don't have tracks, which can be tracked. You can still continue to move forward. Mobility, HE shell, maneuverability, active scouting ability, all those things, I think, make this tank in today's episode. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, top 3, how would you line them up yourself. Maybe you think those vehicles do not deserve to be over here. Maybe you think those vehicles need some upgrades, need some buffs. Let me know in the comments down below. What would be your top 3 in the world of tanks? Top 3 most overpowered tanks in the world of tanks. This time you saw tier 10s, you know, tier 10 vehicles lined up, but as promised, some honorable mentions. In tier 9, I would say right now the most dominating vehicle is Kampfpanzer 50T. A reward vehicle, tier 9 medium tank. This tank is simply ripping enemies into pieces as well. Another tank is tier 10, another tier 10, Object 907. I would say still kind of the king of medium tanks in this game. Tier 10 medium tanks, 907, because of the hull shape, because of the mobility, TPM, like all those things, you know. Very, 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 very strong tank. Talking about tier 8, we have EBR represented in tier 8 as well as a light tank. EBR 75 FL10 I would say is the best tier 8 light tank in front of LT 432. It is a light, you know, wheeled vehicle. Another tier 8 mentioned by the community was actually Progetto 46 after they decided to build the gun rammer into it, because, you know, when they removed the gun rammer option from every single auto reloading tank, they never nerf premium tanks, which is super stupid way to do that. When I think one premium tank is just blatantly overpowered, it should be nerfed nevertheless, but hey, they decided to build into it, raise the stock reload values to the level of carrying a gun rammer, so basically you receive a free equipment slot. Yeah, that might be one of the strongest tanks in this game, of course from the lower tiers, Panzer 5-4, Panzer 2J, and those things, Leffe, but boom. Oh boy, only good EBR is dead EBR, this is what they say, right? But this player made a little poop over here as well. He should have kept his mouse button down, the firing mouse button down, so you fire straight away, you are reloaded, because he was able to reload just a split second before Waffentrager, but just didn't take the shot. And Waffentrager was able to kill that guy. Anyway, still... After he was put down to 39 hit points, 7,600 and 4.8k, what you can see in the game, but actually he did 8,000 damage together with blind shot, and together with blind assistance, 5,400 damage to his assistants. So this battle was over 13,000 combined damage after put down to 39 hit points. This tank doesn't need hit points if it has wheels and stuff. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was my today's video. This was my final episode in 2021. Let me know what you think about this list yourself in the comments down below, together with your username, together with your server, if you want to take part of the giveaway as well, which is hidden at the end of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. To celebrate the end of 2020, to celebrate my beautiful community, to celebrate all the good things you have been doing to me in 2020. 7,500 gold up for grabs. We still have the 69 boxes giveaway running. Link is going to be in the top pinned comment left by me as well under this video. It is still going on for a couple days. Of course, all this is for my subscribers only, so hit the subscribe button if you want to take part of it. Oh, and by the way, a couple episodes ago I gave away yet another random 5,000 gold in the comment section, and the winners are on the screen right now. I actually already picked the winners yesterday. I drew the winners yesterday, but my yesterday's video was made the day before. Anyway, winners are on the screen right now. Congratulations to you! Gold has already been sent out, accepted from your premium store. And soon I'm going to calculate together how much stuff I gave away in 2020 alone. Hopefully we did cross 1 million gold worth of stuff. I really do hope so. If not, well, we have something to drive for in 2021 at least. But this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do every now and then. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is over. 2020 is over. I hope you enjoyed it. Over here on this channel at least, if not outside in the world. You know, some people did good, some people did bad, people did better than others, worse than others in 2020, but hopefully you enjoyed my content over here on this channel. Anyway, that is me done. It is time to wrap it up. Final video in 2020. I get you next time with something else. I get you next year with something else. Stay awesome. Stay sexy. Stay naked. Take care.